our listeners, we're here with Jose Otero. He is on Jackhammer Promotions 10-year brawl card. How you doing today, Jose?
I'm doing good, man. Just getting ready, a week out, so the excitement's building.
Yeah, you're saying you had an early morning workout today. How'd that go?
It went really good. It went really good. I actually bumped into my opponent's coach, and he seemed like a really awesome guy, and he happened to be there in the morning. So the first thing I thought to myself was like, darn it, I come at night, my opponent's there, so let me try going at 6 a.m. and the coach is there. But the team over there is really nice, really cool people. So besides training with Bobby, I do extra cardio at the gym where my opponent is. So I was there this morning and, I bumped into the coach and they seem cool and everyone seems fired up, ready to rock and roll. So everyone keeps saying it's going to be like two Goliaths. So I guess I'm expecting some fireworks, some heavy hitters.
Do you find that hard, knowing that he trains in the same area as you? And
Not hard. It could be a bit of a distraction mentally, and sometimes I don't even want to use the word "make me uncomfortable" because that's a little too strong. But I would prefer privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But
right.
It is what it is. Once I realized that my opponent was training out of there, because I didn't realize it at first. I was there for like 2-3 weeks. Like shadow boxing, working on the bag, which those are things where like people could pick up on things about you. You know what I mean? Once I realized that, I kind of switched the training up to where I was just kind of just trying to do cardio over there, because it is what it is. Everyone does the cardio. So that's not a big deal. And then respectfully, I give him his privacy. The good news is when I take my glasses off, I'm kind of blind. So where I do all my cardio at, I can't see a thing. I don't know if they believe me. They probably think I'm a freaking spy agent, but it is what it is. They seem really cool. They don't seem to mind having me around. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I had some cardio and I got more cardio to do. And I'm just enjoying some in between coffee and rest.
It's pretty cool. You have that respect mentality, right? Like that's the beauty of this sport is, whether they believe you or not, you can see. But it's cool that you respect his space, even though it's a small confined area, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, not everyone's built the same. I happen to be one of those guys where, I just feel weird. I want to give him his privacy and have mine, but it doesn't always work that way. My last camp, I kind of felt invaded. I had like some weird things going on, which I think you guys know a little bit about that stuff. But my last opponent, not even to go into the past, but my last opponent was coming to the gym I was training at while I was there training, watching me train, doing a little bit of his own training, but it was kind of like, I think, pretend to spy. Because right after my class was done, he'd go off and really do his training. And then it turned out he got with my ex-coach, like weeks after I left him. And, the coach before Bobby, was learning from him. So I kind of felt like damn, my opponent had this crazy advantage because he got to know all these intimate things. Like he trained with my sparring partners. He trained with my coach. He got to watch me, and he's not blind. I'm blind. So I couldn't see what he looked like. So I was just hoping to get a nice private camp because I really want to build on myself and work on myself. And, everyone seems respectful. So I don't feel spied on, but I still be paranoid. I'm still like, all right, save it for later.
Yeah, it's hard to have that little thing in the back of your mind, right? Like just thinking, oh, am I doing this correctly? Or do you find that like fight night because you can think about it all during training camp. But do you think, just using the last fight as an example, do you find that affected you a little bit in the ring?
Yeah, my last fight, many things affected me. I didn't feel my head was there. In my last fight, I kind of had this weird out-of-body experience where I had time to analyze myself and just be annoyed by all the dumb things I was doing and all the stupid shit that was happening. And I was very confused, looking for my opponent. So a lot of things had to do with, I believe I had an emotional dump. I believe I was over-aggressive. And I believe I took it very personal because I fought very out of my element. Besides the fact of having a bad night, fighters have bad nights.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a bad night. I was completely out of my game stop. I went in there, guns blazing, and just started pulling the trigger. And then once I realized I couldn't establish my range, instead of, falling back like a tactical fighter would and reestablishing and, figuring things out, I said, fuck it. And I just kept coming forward, letting them punch me in the face, thinking, all right, I can eat those. I just got to land my one. And I kind of felt like a little kid, you know, fighting in the park against a bully. You know what I mean? I didn't fight like a warrior, like a fighter.
Yeah, you
so I
didn't use
definitely
your
think it
tools.
affected me a lot. You know?
Well, you've had some time off now. You're back. How is like
Yeah, I had a year off.
you're on Jackhammer's 10-year anniversary card. How special is that for you?
Oh, that's super special. You know, Bobby goes back a long way, and the thing with Bobby too, there's a lot of great promotions in New York. So, you know, big up to all of them. But what I like about Bobby's is rich in history. You know, this is his 10th anniversary show. He's been in the coaching business for 20 years. He's been fighting for possibly longer than that. I don't know exactly how long, but, you know, the guy got like 60 fights, maybe more pro fights, 7-time pro champion. So it's just like there's just so many accolades that come into this if you really know what's going on. It's like his 60th show. So just that whole history of New York, you know, is cool for someone like me. I like that little extra story. And then there's the whole person thing with Bobby. You know, he's my coach now. We started off doing like media and stuff like that. I started like a little media company, and I started going to his shows and doing videos, whatever. And I trained elsewhere. And then my old team, it kind of like fell apart, and people went different places. So I said, okay, Bobby's turn, you know. And I just feel like I'm in a position where I want to prove myself to Bobby. I want to prove myself to everyone around me. So it's a real special opportunity to be on such a special card and to be one of his students now. You know what I mean? It just kind of like came back full circle. You know, when I started meeting Bobby, I didn't necessarily would have thought I ever would have got the honor of training under him, you know, because I was part of a team and I'm a loyal guy, but they lost the place and people moved away. So like naturally it was just time. It was time to move on, you know? And so it was kind of just felt like natural progression. It was meant to be. So I'm here now to try to hopefully one day become one of Bobby's, you know, future champions. That's another thing. Bobby has, I think Bobby out of his school under his tutelage has like 30-something amateur champions. Like maybe pro champions, I'm not quite sure, but like good. You know, he has the Saints. Not to cut you off, apologies.
No, it's cool. No, it's good, man.
Only those that dare to lose can win, and it really means a lot. You know, my last guy I fought, it was my second fight. It was his, I don't know, 10th fight, maybe more. You know, Bobby always fought people who were bigger, better, more experienced. He was always trying to challenge himself. You know, because you could lose on any night. So why not, I guess, reach for the stars and face the toughest guys. So when you win, you've done even something more greater than winning. You've also beaten, you know, done the improbable. You might have beaten someone they didn't expect you to, you know, that whole underdog mentality.
Yeah, like that's the best feeling is when no one else believes in you, but the one person that does is yourself. When you walk in that and you hear that crowd screaming for the other man or woman, you just prove to yourself that you can do it. That I think that's a great feeling.
If you want
for
it bad
anybody.
enough, you go for it. You
Exactly.
know, Bobby Campbell, he lost his first pro fight, and he lost his first 3 title shots. And then he went on to be a 7-time professional world champion with multiple defenses on all his belts. It's incredible.
And it seems like he's transitioned nicely into like the promoter aspect of the sport.
Yeah, he's been fighting for so long, and he learned from some of the other best promoters out there. It was just natural progression. He's a great promoter. You know, he takes care of the fighters. The shows always go well, and no complaints. I mean, I've seen personally, not for that, but seen personally, like, I don't know, 30 shows in a row. They're always incredible.
Well, even for us, we've been we're the distance for us. We watch the progression of like how, like, since we just got introduced to you guys and like the promotion. And it's amazing. Yeah. Like every event, they step the game up every single time.
Yeah, definitely. When I met Bobby, he was doing his thing for a while, always doing it. But I guess somewhere around that time, and when it became legal in New York, like the whole MMA scene, he had just I don't know, I guess another resurgence, and he just started attacking the game and started like trying to build it again. And it's good because, you know, pro fighters need the amateur league. You know, there's guys like me who fight because we like to fight and we want to get our piece of the pie through the amateur. Mm-hmm. But then there's guys who want to go pro, who, you know, started younger, and they need that. They need a good amateur scene where they can experience that whole lifestyle, ups and downs, you know?
Yeah, and they need to put
sometimes. I'm sorry, yeah.
Sorry, they need and these fighters need to put their trust in a person that's not going to hinder their career. they got to put them, you know what I mean? Like they're not there for
Yes.
the money first. You know, there's always that greed aspect when you think of
Yes,
certain sports,
that's very
right?
important. I forget that because we all try to be respectful, so nobody wants to say negative things about other organizations. And I can never personally pick out which ones are the shady ones, but we all know what we see. And yeah, there's tons of shady stuff going on like that. That's one thing you definitely don't get from Bobby. And it's funny because me and Bobby are also friends. So there's times where like Bobby will vent to me or Bobby would ask me a question about something. And that's how I could tell Bobby really cares because he's always asking about his matchups. Do you think that's a fair matchup? Do you think that's a fair matchup? Other people don't care. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, hey, this guy sold a bunch of tickets and he'll smash this guy. He always tries to have his fights be like fair matchups. Or if somebody is like the underdog, it's still an underdog who has a good shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always trying to produce a good fight and a fair fight, because he really cares. He went through as a fighter, he went through all the bad things that could happen to you, and he really cares. You know what I mean? He really does. Not every show do these guys make money. Sometimes these promoters break even. Sometimes these promoters lose a lot of money. So to be in it for 60-something shows, he definitely has a passion for it. Because that's the reason why the other organizations may not have as many shows. Because a lot of them are newer. Or they come and go. It's a revolving door. He's doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of their mentality is they want that big knockout. They want that big combination to end the fight because they think that's what the fans want. But nowadays, a lot of the fans are more educated about the sport, that they want that close, back and forth, technical fight, right? They don't want those like...
You're absolutely right.
Like I love a knockout, don't get me wrong, but I also like when two guys go against each other and it's skill versus skill and you can see it play out in that fight. I think that's more entertaining than a big one punch KO.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And like you said, the fan base has grown to, more educated fans are in it. The casual fans are becoming educated. And yeah, it's definitely approaching that realm, but that's what people want to see. And you definitely get that at Bobby shows, You get that by default because of the way he cares. He gets that. And he's a fan too, because he'd be excited. Because like I said, as a friend, he'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see these two guys. Oh, I can't wait to see these two guys. They're going to put on this and they're going to, they might be fighting night. And like, so he also does it from that fan aspect where he wants to see good fights. Everyone wants to see good fights, just like you said.
Can you let the listeners in on, like, if you happen to remember your first fight card with Jackhammer?
Yes. It was it 2016? I can't quite remember the year, but it was April 2nd. It was the day after my mother's birthday. And I was fighting the current super heavyweight champion of Jackhammer, which is Malik Smith. It was my first fight. He used to do this other venue, and it was in a cage. Now he uses the boxing ring for the K1 events and stuff like that. They'll still have MMA in there, But originally he used to like rotate between rings and cages. So I fought in a cage, which is much different from the ring. The guy I fought, I lost the first round, pretty much because I wasn't offensive enough. I was too defensive. So he won from like value. Second round came, I put pressure on him. He made it a dog fight. I knocked him down from a kick, and then I got a standing 8 count from some shot that like stunned him or something. And in the third round, I got another standing 8 count from something that stunned him, and then I finished him with a KO, and I got the USKBA knockout of the night, which that was pretty
nice.
Cool. The honor from the sanctioned body, and that was my debut fight with Bobby. It was called Victory Road.
I love those titles that he has too, like 10-year brawl and fall brawl and all those cool the UFC and stuff used to do stuff like that when it was like Vendetta and
I used to like that too.
Since when we first started talking, your wife was having a baby, and now it seems like your daughter has been growing since then. Has that affected you a little bit training for this upcoming fight?
Yeah, it's affected me in many ways. I don't want to sit here and get overhyped, like, oh my God, this super duper inspired me, because I've always been inspired. I've always been one of those guys that work hard because, I care. I want to respect the culture. So I give it my all. The difference, how I've noticed it affected me a lot is I just feel more mature about everything. I feel more mature about the training. And now it feels more like, instead of a choice, it feels more like a duty now. Because, I just want to lead by example. And so if I'm feeling lazy, if I'm feeling tempted to, I don't know, cheat at a workout or kind of half-ass it, I'm like, damn, what would I want my daughter to do? What would I coach my daughter to do? So that's, I feel like she's become like, I guess, my Jiminy Cricket in spirit, you know?
Yeah,
So
man, that's pretty
the
cool.
thought of her is always there to make sure that I keep, you know, that super integrity, you know?
Yeah.
So that's definitely inspired me.
So you pretty much use her as like, if you're in the gym, your time's more valuable because you're away from her.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm away from her, and I'm also here in part, not just for me, but to do something for her, so she could be proud of something, so she could have stories about Dad. And then if she wants to pursue this, you know, she has a role model.
Yeah, it's perfect to have you as a, you know, like we've been following you since the beginning. Wish we would have found you a lot sooner, but when we started this game, it was, we instantly were like connected with like how you present yourself, not only in the cage, but like on social media and stuff like that. You're very respectful. So it's, personally, I think anyone that looks up to you is like a great role model to have.
That's awesome. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I just always try to be myself. So sometimes I wonder if, you know, like if, I don't even want to say I wonder if I do the right thing, because I always do the right thing. I look at myself like a righteous person who always tries to do the right thing. But I guess what I mean is, you know, people are always watching. So when you hear people say nice things like that about you, then you know it's paying off. Like your hard work is paying off. You know, people are noticing the extra steps you do to do the right thing, let's say. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Like for us, it was,
you know, and if you ever, I'm sorry, again.
No, it's all good, man. It's just, you showed us, like love in the beginning. So it's, we like to follow that, your journey, right? Because we started out pretty small, whatever, here and there, but you and Bobby, you guys have shown us so much love. It's hard not to follow your guys' personal journeys and stuff like that. You grow as like a fan.
I appreciate that. I really do. And we love to see people that appreciate that appreciation. You know, like honestly, like and that's what keeps people like us going. You know what I mean? Just that energy, that positive energy. And it's real positive energy, because everyone can act positive or be positive. But enthusiasm and passion, that's like more authentic. You know what I mean? And you guys have it, and that's why you guys can recognize it in other people.
Yeah, like it just.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's just the journeys you guys have. Like it's as fans, like you guys are doing what we can't. So it's hard. For me, it's hard to hear people criticize fighters, and because you guys are putting it all in line as soon, not only in when you step in the cage, but in the gym, and your like workout routines at home, like your sleep schedule, your wake up schedule. You know, there's a lot of little things that certain fans criticize that, or you know what I mean. It's just not.
Yeah, it's tough. They just see the glory or the death.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
We touched on it a little bit. What improvements have you noticed since your last fight?
Since my last fight, besides fighting very foolishly, I also feel like I didn't tap into my weapons that I've always had. Excuse me. And I've seen many areas I want to improve. So for this camp, it was, you know, staying cool, keeping my composure, remembering to fight like a damn fighter, and then remembering to fight like me while sticking to the game plan. And but mostly, more specifically, I just been really focused on my agility, my speed, my footwork. You know, I'm a heavyweight, but I can move pretty darn good. And I never really tapped into that because, you know, it was hard for a big guy. You grow your cardio. That thing could take months. It could take years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm feeling really good about how I can move my body. So I've been working on trying to maintain that for the fight. I think everything should go well. If it doesn't, I promise, you know, in the next camp and the camp after that, you're going to see a very fun heavyweight. You know, I'm trying to be aggressive. I'm trying to be a pressure fighter, but always tactical. I'm always willing to adapt. So I just been focused on polishing up the basics, you know, just really been focusing on my jab, focusing on my footwork, my head work, you know what I mean? And so I feel like a brand newish fighter, you know what I mean? And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm excited about this fight because my opponent is my height. So hopefully that should mean, because you never know till you get out there and you fight the guy, but hopefully that should mean I could work more. My last two fights, besides the guy's experience level, it was a tough fight. He was lefty. He was 6'3".
Yeah, he was a big dude. Yeah, he was a big guy.
So I took a lot of damage trying to find my way. You know what I mean?
Well, do you find as like being a shorter heavyweight, like just the size difference between you and Malik were noticeable?
Yes.
Like, and you would have to reach up higher to get the, you know what I mean? Like, so you were kind of already out of your comfort zone with punches, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
It was really tough to establish the range with Malik. The whole first round, I couldn't establish my range. That's why I couldn't open up more. Because, he kept coming at me very strong. I mean, in my first fight, he tried to fluster me because he pretended to touch gloves and just, did a running jumping kick. And the fight was just on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I went to touch gloves. Next thing I know, I'm against the cage, fighting for my life. Established my range that whole first round. By the second round, I said, okay, we're going to make it a dog fight. I'm going to establish my damn range. I'm getting in there. And then once I started putting pressure on him, slowly he succumbed to it. Second fight, that didn't happen. He came ready with his cardio and just kept punching my face a lot. I was stupid. I kept running into it. Watching the footage, I could see it, man. I made it an easy fight for him. All you had to do was slide out and just keep peppering me. You know what I mean? So hopefully I'll get to fight him again in the future. There's been whispers he's looking for me. So I said, okay, big boy, you just got to wait a little bit because I want to fight some other people. I want to continue to grow and find myself. But hopefully, yeah, man, I'm looking to fight him again. I'm looking to dethrone him. You know what I mean? I didn't do well in that second fight. I want to make up for that with this fight and just in general.
Well, it's hard to have the same opponent, right? Because it's hard because you mentally think you have everything figured out after the first fight, but so you don't really say. Yeah. I think you're doing it the correct way. You're getting another a different opponent, seeing how they match up well with you, and then going back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna be paid.
And right there just shows
hopefully he'll still hold out.
You happen to have a loss, but you know what? By the sounds of it, you've learned from it. You're doing everything to correct everything. So it's great to hear that you're back on that track, Jose.
Thank you. You guys make it worthwhile, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Before we wrap this up, we appreciate your time. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody?
First and foremost, shout out to One Up MMA. I like what you guys are doing. I appreciate the appreciation, and I support you guys for supporting me. But even if you guys didn't support me, I would support you guys because I like what you're doing, and I like how you do it. I personally got to get an idea of or each of you. Now I personally get to meet you, and all you guys are cool, man. I really like your guys' social media. I like how you do things. I want to give another shout-out to MMA Bug. That's my little promotion thing, with videos and whatnot, similar to what you guys do. I want to give a shout out to Jackhammer Promotions, obviously. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. I want to give a shout out to my coach, Bobby Campbell. I want to give a shout out to my fiance, Ashley, my baby, CJ. She's in the background. I don't know if you heard that. Give a shout out to you, Justin.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Giving me your time. And, shout out to anyone that ever believed in me, anyone that supports me in any way, and anyone that ever gave me a piece of them, because everything I am today, it came from one of my mentors, so I appreciate everyone. I love this culture.
Well, thanks for your time, Jose. Definitely we'll be sure to let everybody know. April 28th, Jackhammer Promotions, 10-Year Brawl. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get it rocking. Sleeping Giant. Thank you, guys.